Welcome back to this another live session for the Friday, last session of the trading days and the last day of trading week. Very important day coming up few minutes later. We'll see that job preliminary inflation as well as consumer sentiment coming up, and we'll be covering in this session in few hours coming. Those data definitely should have some significant impact in the market. So as we beginning our session, I'd like to see that all the members are here present. Say yes if you are here, and also we will be looking for trade setup. Thanks for joining here. And looking at the market on gold and also DXY to see that where the price is potentially heading. I can see the gold there was a break of structure that you can see, and as we discussed in our previous daily session, there was a bounce pullback from this support. The market has got back again to the upside here. So we saw the two important pattern formation. The market has created this move and now potentially bouncing back to the upside here. At the moment, what you can see, gold is after this daily drop that you can see the market. This is the daily chart, and if you look at today's market on gold was so far after the yesterday's breakdown, it's showing that potentially to be bullish and welcome. And in that bull market at the moment, because the market is bullish, we are looking at here in this market for possible entry in the major direction of the trend. And looking at so I'm waiting for everybody showing up. Guys, if you are here, say yes, and also like this stream if you haven't liked yet, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell, as the Friday, very important day as news day. And this week and the past week there was supposed to be NFP, but it didn't release. The NFP didn't come out, and that has given the market to be little slow down, but we saw that it's basically coming for that pullback here. Now, from the daily chart on gold, what I think it's potentially setting up for another bounce back to the upside. Do you think so? I think so. The market is significantly bullish, and there was a breakdown. The market has done its move. If you look at the 1 hour price action, that you can see this is what was predicted in my previous analysis. So if you go to the analysis here, this is gonna be a great education for you. Absolutely, this is what I posted on gold. If you look at from the 1 hour perspective, that the gold to potentially go up little bit further and then to reject back again to this trend line. It has dropped even further deeper, and now getting the rejection back. We saw that in fact the market dropped to that, bounced back up again, has another drop, and from here the market now, after second drop, the market rejected back again to the upside. So this was the first prediction was made that gold to bounce off this level in that way, and it did that. So if you look at the first prediction was to drop here and then to bounce back here, and the second one again drop back in the same pattern that it has followed. So now what we are looking at here in this market, the market is, if you look at here, you can see the price from double bottom, and now it's bouncing, trying to bounce off that level. This is where the market in a very quick level, because if this market now breaking above, we might see that potentially going to hit the fair value gap, back to back two key resistance line, and then above this level there is a void, right? So there is fair value gap, and that is an imbalance in the market. So now to look at if the price is coming down to break below here, because in both direction where the market is, I'm looking at the 1 hour chart on gold, in both direction there is fair value gap. The market can move either direction. So our goal here is to find out when the market is preparing for a move in one direction. That means the market is ready to take off in one direction. So we will be using to understand it the trend. That means what is the trend in the market. So that being said, what we can see here in this lower time frame, you can see the price is, whenever it is having a breakout, it's again having a breakdown. So the market is maintaining this trend line, and from that trend line, that if we look at on gold, we can see that the price is potentially heading back to the upside to create a new higher high, or we could see that complete breakup trend line. So if you look at the 1 hour, you can see it's trying to break that low, this support, and then potentially to return. It's a bull market, so our bias here is to go long. You can see just trying to press that button here. Now if the market is coming to that support, you can see this is an order block and getting a reaction back above, which is from the 4 hour chart that you can see it's a doji. From the 1 hour, we can see the market on the support and it's getting some reaction back again to the upside here. And this is a trend line, right? And we would like to enter a position that yield potential move in one direction. Looking at the 1 hour chart, this is bull market, and from the current level that the market is, it's potentially to remain bullish. Now you can see that it's getting the reaction back for me, but I think the price, we could see that highly likely to remain bullish. That means the possibility for this market to revert back again to the upside is higher. And you can see this is a breakup structure in the market again trying to push back in the major direction. This is where the key to look at. If the market reject from this high, we could see that breaking the daily support. If the market reject from the low, we could see that going back up to the daily high. As long-term trend is up, the bias is still to the upside here. It's a bull market, so waiting. This is the 30 minutes price action. As you can see, whenever the market is, the candle is closing, we could see the market to potentially trend and then turn back to the upside here in this market. There's a 5 minutes long wick rejection again in that area with a series of higher low. Welcome back to this live session. Getting reaction from this support level. As you can see, whenever the price is coming down to that support, it's getting an upside bias, which is potential for new higher high. We saw that there was a significant consolidation here in this long-term uptrending market, but slowly it's building its momentum back to the upside here in this market. With a series of higher low, the market is breaking that up, and we could see the price to continue to trend potentially to this recent level of resistance here in this area. And this is what we're looking at for an entry. Again, you see there is the pattern formation here, a breakdown to that support, straight back up. Now we might see that pullback and then to reject back again, because our entry, we would like to enter for this possible move in the major direction of the trend. And here is the market is showing up. If you look at, with this drop to that support, bounce back to the upside, now it's on a pullback. And this is what we're looking at for the price to potentially show up and then to continue to trend back to the upside. I hope that guys you're enjoying the live session. Make sure you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. This is the 5-minute chart. The market structure is showing up to be significant here. Series of higher low, it's a potentially to remain bullish because it's a long-term bull market. There is significant bounce. And that's where you can see the market trend is showing up to be upside here in that market, creating series of higher low. And there is quite a few high order block. This is an order block here, and there is another order block here. Two significant order block giving that call to potential trend, potentially the market to reject back again in the major direction of the trend. Here's the market structure showing up that the market to remain upside here. Now, if the price is dropping again, we see that it reached the key resistance line and then breaking back below. So as there is a bounce pullback, are you going to see that another bounce back to the upside, which is a probability because the market is maintaining this series of higher low. If you guys can hear me and see me, say yes. Coming up, there is a very important high impact news. Okay, so it's trying to, if you look at, this is a resistance line. The price is slowly building that pressure on that resistance line, which is a very important level of resistance. And in that resistance, the market is maintaining this series of higher low. And with that series of higher low, the price is slowly pushing that market back above, and where there is a higher low that you can see. And in that higher low, if you look at here, you can see it's lower time frame price action on the 1-minute chart, grabbing liquidity and then rejecting back again to the upside here to create a new higher high. That is where you can see the price is, if you look at that multiple rejection, showing up the market to drop back and potentially to break this trend line to give us an entry opportunity. And 1 hour market structure that's showing up to be potentially bullish. 30 minutes chart, that candle closing, we have seen that this green candle close in 30 minutes chart, wanting to see this breaking below and then to re-entry to the upside. Here the market in a very narrow consolidation. That consolidation is basically a representation of a possible break from that structure, because when the market moves in a smaller range like that, it's basically a preparation for a breakout or a breakdown. So you can see it's now in that direction. So breaking that low almost to the 1 hour support, would like to see that it's crossing back below. Crossing back below, this is the 1 hour support, and this is the current support. I'm ready to enter. Are you guys ready for an entry? Say yes if you are ready for an entry here. It's coming to that support level. Waiting for it to break first below. Awesome, it has broken the trend line here, which is the 1 hour support. So I'm looking at short-term buy here from this level. Stop loss keeping all this low. We see there is a slip down, and I'm looking for a buy. Stop loss below this support low here with at least 2 to 1 and very tight risk. Keep in mind, guys, anything can happen in trading, so definitely risk management is the key. Opening buy on gold for a possible rejection from this 1 hour support. So from the 1 hour perspective, the market has completely broken that support. Now, this is a short scalping trade waiting for a rejection back above. And it's a reversal trade waiting for the market to potentially have a rejection to the resistance line. I'm on long with this trade on gold. So we will be looking to see the market to have a reaction back above. Getting rejection. We are 14 pip up with this trade. Right, moving back to the upside here with this move. Cool. And as soon as I will be closing in profit, I will be giving a shout out here. 23 pip up. Now, as I mentioned, most of the day we are winner. Some day might not work out, but that's completely fine. We are now on the edge, moving back to the upside here. 30 pip up, waiting for the market to bounce back further. And with that movement, this is a candle close here. Would like to see the price to bounce back up, waiting for this price to potentially to come on. You might need to get out with this trade. So to see if it's getting back up. Okay, it's going back up. And going back up. So I might exit this trade right now. I'm exiting this trade now. I'm out with the running profit for this trade to around 21 pip. And we'll be looking to see what the market structure is trying to build. And we'll be re-entering again as soon as we find another entry. Hello everyone, thank you for joining. Good move. Yes, there is a good move here, and still just beginning, guys. There is a news coming up, so don't miss out. There will be move coming up. It's just starting, right? It's just starting, and there will be more move coming up. Say yes if you have taken this move with me. It's just beginning, right? It's just beginning. It might break below here. That's why I'm out with the trade, because it might go up or it might break below. If the market breaks that support here, that might even for the price to drop straight back down. If the bounce goes back to the upside, we might see trend continuation. If it breaks the support, it might drop a lot. So that is the reason that I am out with the trade. It may continue to rise or it may straight break below the support. If it breaks below the support, there is a massive fair value gap. You can see this is a complete imbalance in the market from here till here, right? So if the price breaks that support, we might see that the market to entirely drop to this daily low here, which the market may come back here to that support level. So you see the price action showing up that is still the market is undecided about the directional bias. So we have another entry very soon coming up, but I would like to see that all the members are out with the trade. Welcome. Can you say you are out with the trade or no? It's breaking below. That means that the market to potentially trend further, or we could see the rejection again back above. There is significant. You see that this is a market structure. That market structure could play out eventually to be here, or we could see the trend continuation back to the upside, depending on what kind of market structure we can see. But if the price breaks this fair value gap, this support here, there's nothing in that zone here. It could straight drop down here to fill that 4 hour and the daily support level. I'm now looking at 4 hour. We are close to the trade. 20 pip up and would like to see that no more trade coming, and I don't want to stop in one trade. And that is what you're looking at. If you look at here, you can see this is a breakdown here in that area, which is the market structure showing up. Which is support level, and this is a key support level. If you look at now, if the market drop back below here, that's gonna be big move potentially too, but I think my bias is still to the upside because it's a long-term bull market, and that's what I'm looking at. Okay, so if you look at the lower time frame, you can see the market structure showing up. It's breaking that low. Where the market is showing up, you can see that it's breaking that support. Now that break of support could take the market well below, or we could see that it's complete breakdown and then coming back here. Both directional bias is possible. If you look at the 1 hour, you can see that it's trying to break that low here, and at the same time the market structure here is in that area, in this support level, and from that support is where this is where the support level. Now this support, after this consolidation, there are two possible, as I mentioned earlier, that the market to break completely and then to continue to trend, or breaking below, making a false breakdown and then to return again back above. It is still possible that the market to, if you look at this, there was this narrow range, and it might just break that low and then boom, bounce back up again. It's breaking the support, which is one way to see the market is penetrating back below. Here's the market, here's the support, wanting to see testing and then to reject back again in the major direction of the trend. Now it's overextended below, and that is where we need to look at. As the market overextended back below, this is where the possibility that this market to break below, or again going back to the sessions high or daily high, because it's now overextended in the support level. So it's now on a level where it is overextended. Okay, so it's now, if you guys look at, it's completely has broken out of the support, coming back down here potentially to test that order block. And as the market has come down to the order block, which has made its move back below, what we see that penetrated the order block. This market could remain bearish again back below here, or you could see that bouncing off that level. Okay guys, see the price is slowly breaking that low, which is from that low the candle closing potentially back above, and it is showing up with a stronger breakout here in that market. Very long rejection here to the upside. And potentially a false breakout, or you could see that again return back. Welcome back to this live session. We are looking for another entry in that area. So as you can see, this where the market after this test got the rejection and then straight drop back, has broken the support level, immediately got back up. If you look at the 30 minutes price action here and the lower time frame, what we can see that from this support level the market has created an impulse back to the upside, and that is where the market is moving. In fact, if you look at, if you from here, it's a bounce back to the upside, and with that rejection that you can see on gold, it's showing up that the market could potentially bounce off that level. And after cross of this high, you can see it grabbed that liquidity. Now it's trying to break that low. Until you see the directional clarification, we are still watching for another move. It may break below again for this imbalance, or it may continue to rise depending on how. This is where this 5 minutes candle that you can see, it's a potentially bearish here, because it crossed that high and then created rejection again back below here in that market. Now the 1 hour candle closing, if you look at the 1 hour price action, what do we see here? A doji. Now that doji tested the low and also tested the high. Now with the new candle opening on the 1 hour chart, are you going to see that fill that wick or going to go back up? This is what we will be looking at once before the candle close, how the lower time frame price action is being created here in that area. So if you look at the 1 minute, that you can see the possibility for a long-term trend is higher. Welcome. Market buy or sell. We already bought and closed profit. We are looking for next entry. Currently the market on a, we have seen there's a false breakdown and has gone back up to the range again. So it's on a range market. We still not yet directionally clear for the next trade. Sir, the previous daily candle was bearish engulfing. Will that maybe indicate sell to fill the gap? Okay, that's a very good question. So I would like to ask that question as a poll, as 1 hour candle close coming. We have very important question to ask, right? The previous daily candle, if you look at, that was bearish engulfer, right? Now with that bearish engulfer, today's candle, the price to come down here to fill that weak, fill that gap, or to bounce back up. What's your thought on that? Anyone can come up with any idea? We saw that there's bearish engulfer here as well, right? So look at those bearish engulfer. There's one here, all of them bearish engulfer, right? There's also bearish engulfer, bearish engulfer, bearish engulfer, and also bearish engulfer. So are you going to see a potential break below? No one knows, right? Because it still can break below, but what we are looking at here is not bearish or bullish engulfer. What we are looking at is trend, right? So, you know, I see that majority of the traders overlook that, the importance of trend, and most of the traders look at high lows, hanging man, shooting star, bearish engulfer, bullish engulfer. A bearish engulfer or a bullish engulfer could have a completely opposite meaning depending on where it has formed. More often you'll see that bearish engulfer or bullish engulfer even doesn't work at all. Why? Because it's visible. Keep in mind that it's visible. Everyone can see that. what everyone can see, and everyone looking at the same chart. Billions of traders looking at the same chart where trillions of dollars is being traded. Everyone is smart. Some are smarter, and some are smarter than the smartest. So then what you need to look at is what is not seen. You'll see that more often bearish or bullish engulfer create an opposite meaning. The most important part here is trend. So if you look at the daily market, where the direction of the trend is bullish, you see that's why I bought, because that's what the market is likely to do. Now that means the market will not drop. Of course it will drop. It is possible to drop, but the possibility when it will get a rejection is big more possible when you trade with the trend. That means when you do the proper risk management and you enter into the right time, right trade in the right direction, it's gonna bounce off 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, because it's in the direction of the trend. This daily bearish engulfer that you can see, it's a big red candle, but it might have a completely opposite meaning. That means the trader might be thinking of sell, but it's a buy candle. Why? Because when this red candle form, what it has done, it has wiped out many of the traders order who bought here, because there is stop loss below this low, and you can see that I also has a losing trade in that area. That's completely fine, but because it has broken that in that direction, it gained momentum, it has grabbed liquidity, and because it has grabbed liquidity, it prepared potentially for an upside bias. But now we see that there is a lower time frame bearish trend, because the market is in the middle of this today's candle. So you will be looking for buy once the market on a key support level. That's what we are looking at, right? That's where we are looking at here in that area. So if you look at support level, right, so you can see this is the lower time frame, and the market is slowly building that momentum. Here is, you can see that the market, this is where the price has broken from this liquidity zone, and it's breaking that low here, right? So there is a long wick candle, and the market now, there is a big consolidation. Chances for this price to reverse at any point in time. But our goal here is to look at where we can enter in a way that we can take the biggest move in one direction, because the market will go up and come down, will go up and come down in a very narrow range more often. Look at this 5-minute chart here, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. So you can see that it drop here, move there, and then drop here and move there, drop. So it's a very smaller range, and that's the biggest struggle that most traders face, because when you decided to buy and then you see that it's a very small move and come back again, it doesn't give you a bigger length to move in one direction. But when you buy from a daily, for example, from this level at 3947, it's a significant move possible for you. Once the market will reverse, it's gonna go back up, potentially breaking all this high here. And that's the big trade, big win that we need as a trader to win almost consistently. Now it's breaking that low here from that support level. Engulfing candle as 6 useless when a trend is strong. It can have an opposite effect. That means you'll see that over and over again, this bearish engulfer, you see that the market just bounced off that level. So you can use it in both direction. That's where that, if you look at here, you can see this is a bearish engulfer. But that bearish engulfer is opposite direction of the trend, so you can expect it to even go in that direction rather than coming back down here. Yeah, the market structure 1 hour candle closed as a bearish candle, and the trend here is locally bearish. The potential for this market to break below is higher depending on here on the lower time frame confirmation that you are looking at. What we are looking at here in this market, from here you can see slowly pushing that price back above, which is a key level that you can see the market is approaching that area, where from this support level maintaining that series of higher low, and with this series of high low expecting the market to trend up or break down here. So here is the market structure trying to show up that move back to the upside, slowly building that momentum, where if you look at here you can see it's again trying to create a bullish impulse from this key support level. The market in a zone where both direction possible. This is a key support level. There is a fair value gap. We could see the market to continue to trend up, or we could see the market to come back here to that support level. The major trend is up. Our bias here to the upside. As soon as we see the market has given us that bullish entry, we will be looking into buying this market. The possibility for an uptrending bias is also higher. And at the same time, there is a long bearish engulfer here. So until the market decides, that's why you see that more often the market moves in a sideways, because of the market is undecided about the directional bias. There's a doji pattern formation here in that area, which is showing up the price to potentially trend and possibly to bounce off that level. There's a doji and expecting the market to potentially move up here to this key level. And if it is forming a pure inverted head and shoulder, we even could see another bounce to this 3995 level. There's a bearish market structure being formed, and there's a bigger fair value gap in that area, which is where the market is in a very narrow range. Now this kind of sideways market that we discussed is you might find it very difficult to predict that sideways market here in that area, where there is a long wick doji and the market could continue to trend here to this support level. Okay, so there is a slowly a possibility to break further below that you can see in this lower time frame. The previous session, guys, we have in our London session as well. Now in our NY session, here is we started, and the market, if you look at it, made its initial bounce and then return again back below with this break up structure here in that area. Now so breaking above, if you look at 1 hour price action, you can see it's now trying to break that high. So that is where we are looking at that the market to break in one direction before we be able to enter the trade here. The 50-minute candle close here, which is closing as a potentially bullish rejection. If you look at the 5 minutes as well, closing as a back-to-back 3 long wick candle. Okay, so there is a doji on the 5-minute chart. Now to look at, it's going to fill that long wick, or you could see that coming back down here. And with this doji, the market to this is if you look at below, there is nothing here, right? It's a void. So it's a fair value gap, and which is an imbalance in the market. So that imbalance that you can see in this market is potential to fill that. If the market is coming down to that imbalance to fill that zone, we could see a continuation back below. Now as this is a key support level, and you can see long-term trend is up. So in what situation we will be looking into entry to the upside or downside until we see a clear directional bias. From the daily, it's a bull market. So a very important question comes in play. Are we going to buy or sell until we see that the market has managed to break in one direction? The structure being created here can be a reversal pattern. Until not confirmed, you could see the price will go up and then break below again with one single move in that direction. So as soon as we see that's a directional bias, we will be taking the trade. what you think market close above 4K or down? Market closing 4K, above 4K. Possible, because if the uptrend continues, if you look at in this market, if you look at the daily chart, you can see that. Now clean chart on the daily time frame, it is a bullish market. But there's one thing that we need to consider is the timing. That's what I always talk about, right? So timing is crucial, because what time of this week today? So if you look at today's Friday, right, last day of trading week, and there will be a weekly close. If you look at the monthly, also you can see it's a monthly price action. Now from the weekly, there is one very important point that we need to consider here in this market. What is that? Can anybody have an idea? If you look at the weekly market, what is the most important part that you need to look at in this weekly chart? Number of weeks the market was bullish, right? So look at this weekly candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th week. That means continuously last 2 months the market was, from the weekly there isn't any red candle formation. Does that mean that this week or the next week is gonna be a red candle? Not necessarily. But depending on with this current weekly close, that means a lot. There is very important price action that you need to look at. When you're looking at the weekly price action, you can see that there was a gap opens almost every week. And if you look at the lower shadow of this weekly candle, you see there is no wick here. That means it's a sharply bull market. And even if we see that pullback in this market, that does not mean that it's gonna be a very strong pullback. It can be very sharp, narrow pullback, and then again remaining bullish here in that market. So that being said, looking at daily again, coming back to the daily price action, it is a bull market, and it is absolutely possible that today the market to again go back up to this daily resistance. And at the same time, it is also possible to the market to break the daily support, coming for a deeper pullback. The probability is the key. The probability here is bullish. So we are looking at to enter on an uptrending market structure. And that's what we're looking at. If you look at the 15 minutes, you can see it's a bull market. Drop down here, which is showing up that the market to potentially reject again to the upside. Though we see that quite a few long week candlestick pattern is being formed. This long week also represents that downward move here in that market. See that 5 minutes candlestick pattern? So looking at 15 minutes, which is doji and big drop back to back 2. If this current 15 minutes closing like that as a long week candle like this, it is also a possibility for further downside because higher price is being rejected. So we need to look at the market. And that's going to be a retest of this neckline of this consolidation. This candle, the red candle, you can see it's a potentially a bullish candle. You see it grab liquidity from here. The next candle potentially to bounce back here. Depending on, we could see that bounce back here. And if it is bouncing back here, if you look at the 1 hour chart, you can see it's on the support level. So you can see the market slowly potentially bouncing back from that level. It bounced to 35 pip in a move. Right. So that's where we're looking at. How did you predict that candle by candle, right? Did you like that analysis? Now the market structure showing up to be bullish here, that you can see slowly trying to build that momentum back to the upside on the 30 minutes chart. So you see some directional bias, which is possibly to be upside. We might be able to find an entry here. So are you guys ready for an entry? We might find an entry in that area. So this is what we're looking at. what we are looking at, you see the price slowly breaking that low, and as it is bull market, and in that bull market waiting for the price to potentially to show up here for an upside bias. We might be able to find an entry very soon here. Looking for that potential break below further. It's a breakup structure that you can see. And the market might prepare for a possible upside bias coming up in 30 minutes. Not 30 minutes, coming up in 1.5 hours. The news high impact. We might be able to find an entry here in this market very soon, as there is a series of higher low that the market is forming, and this is the previous swing high. We could see the market to break that swing high before it move in one direction. And here is the drop that you can see the market is breaking below in that area. And breaking that low here, breaking that support from the 1 hour perspective, the market is on the support level. With a series of lower high, the market has managed to break that support, and looking into that entry. Looking into that entry, I'm just looking to see that if the market in fact has grabbed enough liquidity here, and if yes, then we see the price is getting potential momentum here in that area. So creating series of lower high below this level. If you look at, there's a trend line that you can see, and from the trend line the market is approaching this support, and once the market is approaching that support, expecting the market to trend here back below to break that low where the 1 hour, if you look at, that support is breaking back below. And for us to find that entry in this market, this is what we are looking at, guys, in our previous session as well. This session as well, we enter from a very key area of value, very key support level, and that's what we are looking to see, that the market tested this trend line multiple times and putting the pressure on this key support level. Once the market overextend back below to this key support level, we are looking into that entry. In your previous trade as well, we use the same concept and the strategy. Now the market is in that area. So if you look at daily, as I mentioned in the beginning of the session and also throughout the session, that long-term trend in this market is bullish. Because the long-term trend is bullish, that means daily trend also bullish. We are looking for that buying opportunity in this market, which is key support level, and in that buying area, once the price managed to drop below, we are looking at that entry here in this market. So you can see that 30 minutes price action, the market has crossed that low and waiting for that potential overextension back below. There is a fair value gap and there's a consolidation. So the market could come back well below to this daily support before it bounce off, or it can just overextend here and then going back up. Depending on the market structure and price action, we are looking for that entry in this market. In the meantime, traders, if you enjoyed the live session, make sure you like this stream. If you like it, YouTube algorithm also like it. And also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done yet. I do come on live twice every single day except Thursday once, and to trade the market, to find the best trade setup, and also to discuss all the educational stuff that can change your trading completely. And here we trade in the best way possible to find the most effective way to trade the market, because as we discussed again in the beginning of the session, 70% of my trading decision that I make is based on trend. So trend is the most important part that we use when you are looking at trading. So if you are trading with me here every single day, try to understand that trend is the most important part of technical aspect of trading. And as a short-term trader, we use mostly the technical aspect. That means the technical analysis, especially the multiple time frame analysis. Now, if you look at the we are looking at gold at 1 minute chart, but we don't trade on 1 minute, right? It's an entry time frame. We need confirmation on the higher time frame. It can be 4 hour, 1 hour, or daily. Now looking at daily always give you an edge, a clear directional bias. Look at the daily chart here. It's a clean uptrend, and when you look at this clean uptrend, where we are looking at for entry is on those key levels. Key level are very important to note, that key area where we can find a potential reversal pattern on the lower time frame for an entry. Now if you look at 1 minute, here's some of the key levels which are on the daily time frame. Very important: support and resistance. And support resistance works, okay, as long as you have mixed with liquidity, because every support and every resistance, you'll see that there will be always an overextension, not always, more often, and that overextension is what we are trading in this market. So look at this support here. What we are talking about, this is the support, right? And that support overextended. Here is the support. The market has made its move, overextended below, made another move, and now because the market is maintaining this series of lower high, the price is coming to that support. Most likely you'll see that overextension again. That means coming somewhere in between and then to reject again, or with the upcoming news, if the data is coming very aggressive, we could see a strong breakdown and straight coming back below to the daily support, and that's where the bigger move can happen. We can re-enter for the bigger move. Patience is key, as we discuss more often. Yes, take it as buy. What time is NFP? Yeah, NFP, no, today there isn't NFP. The data is changed now for the next week. So it's again moved to the next week. It might keep moving to the next NFP. So if you look at the news, what did you see? So some news coming up that you can see, especially the calendar that looking at. So today coming up in my zone is 1 a.m. which is preliminary UOM. Very interesting name here. So if you look at composite index based on surveyed consumers coming up later in my zone, which is around an hour later, and that's two of them. So this is the biggest news for almost, if you look at this week, the calendar wasn't much heavy because of some of the things happening, and that has prepared the market for little sideways, and that is coming up next week, almost on Wednesday, with the Powell's speech, and then Bailey will speak, followed by CPI, and then scheduled for Friday, tentative non-farm employment change, which has not been released past week. So it could be, it could not be, it might even move back again to the next week, and finally could be together another weekend. That's gonna be big one. The data coming on now, the market is moving. That's what you need to see. Because there is a volume in the market, and so it's breaking that support that you can see here in that area, and potentially to break that low to create a new lower low here in this market. So this is the 30 minutes price action, 1 hour price action, which both of them getting that rejection from the high, creating a series of lower high. We could see that coming back to this here, to the order block again, and that could lead that market to continue to trend back down here to this support level. Okay, so finally overextended, as we discussed, that has broken that support and then overextended back below in this lower time frame. So this is, here you can see back to back 2 long wick candle, 3 almost on the 4 hour if we look at. So that's an imbalance, so which is a pure imbalance, so which is might be now the market to come down here to fill that imbalance. The market has broken that support, so preparing for a drop here. That means looking at again to the daily level. So let's look at the daily level here. Some of the daily level is this is the daily support, daily low, and the daily open and close. So the market showing up to be bearish. Now we are setting up for a possible bearish setup in this market shortly after. The market overextended back below. Now we are looking at the 1 hour candle close coming shortly after, which is a 1 hour bearish engulfer with a long wick on both sides. Okay, so it is break back to the upside that you can see on the lower time frame. From the market is pushing here for another possible retest in that area, where with this overextension the market is now breaking above in that area that we are looking at. With this overextension, the market, this is a fair value gap, and from the 1 hour close coming very soon, and we can see the price now in a zone where the probability, if you look at from here, this is where the initial move happened back to the upside, and we could see the market to come back again to that which is the daily support, or even breaking below further, and then to possibly to trend up again, depending on how this current candle also closing. Because from the daily and from the 1 hour also, you would like to see a long bearish candle close in that area. Especially when you see the market pull back like that in a uptrending market with a downtrend, the market remain little choppy. This is not a very great trend. That's why I'm still not selling, because look at this market trend when it goes up, how stronger it was. But when it started to drop, it was very weaker trend that we can see here in that area. Okay, so this is 1 hour market structure, which is a doji. Now this doji could break to the upside, or you could see that further bearish move. Until we see that directionally clear, we are not entering yet to any trade here in this market, waiting for the market to show up, and then we will be entering into the trade. Getting some reaction from the high. We are seeing that bearish move in that area, which is the market is trying to break that low, potentially to trend back down. And with the 1 hour close coming, which is pretty long wick doji, probably we are coming to a zone where you might be able to find an entry. We might see the downside here as the market structure is highly bearish. So I'm preparing for a potential entry for this market structure. So it's a selling market, potentially to deepen further back below. Okay, so we see the bearish move that you can see on the lower time frame. From the 1 hour perspective, also showing that the price may potentially remain downside here. And So here I'm going to open sell on gold for this move back below here with if we look at the 1 hour price action here, first of all you would like to see the market has done enough pullback to the upside before we look for sell, and the possibility for the market to drop down is higher. So I'm going to open sell by market here in this zone, keeping stop loss above this high, giving a little bit of space, room for breathing to around 65 to 75 pip here for this 66 pip, and would like to target to this daily low for TP1, and then later you can even add keep the rest of the position running, which is to this daily support level. So it's a downtrend, and pretty sharp bearish move. What I think now might go up for a pullback, and it's a falling market. I'm short. It's sharply falling market. So the market structure has overextended. Now we will be looking to see that this market to potentially pull back and then to revert again back below. This is the 1 hour market structure that you can see the price is showing up to be potentially bearish here, and so showing up potentially for the downside. Are you guys with me? So I'm running the trade. Falling market. There's an imbalance here, and would like to see the market to fill that imbalance, breaking that low, and then to create a new lower low here in that market. Guys, so second trade, and would like to secure very soon. It's still showing up to be downside. Come on, it's trying to break out. So this is where the candle closed, and which is bearish, and possibly to, if it's on a fair value gap, so would like to see that it's also coming down further to fill that zone. Which is bearish market, and like to see that maintaining that bearish market structure. There's another long wick potential doji here in that area. If you look at here in that area for this bearish market structure, so we are looking at here on the lower time frame, there is a breakup structure that you can see, and as the lower time frame price action, the trend is from this daily low. We have seen there is a rejection, so you might see the market to potentially now for deepening the pullback here, and that is where the market is slowly there's significant break from this high. So lower time frame price action showing up that It's creating long wick candle in that area. So looking at the 1 hour here, that also it might be potentially preparing for a reversal and looking to see that what kind of market structure is forming. The possibility for the market now to see that if it is getting back below, or you could see that trend continuation to the major direction of the trend. 4-hour chart that you can see there is a significant bearish move so far, and could make the price break below to fill that imbalance here. So there is a 15 minutes candle close with a pretty long wick doji here, and to see that if the market is going to hit that high here. So the market structure has broken above. Now as if we look at the 4-hour, where the market is still showing that there is a possibility for the price to fill the imbalance, while from the 1-hour we can see there is some upside momentum trying to come up. So depending on how the market structure is forming, that we're looking to see that the market structure potentially to cross that liquidity zone here. So it might be forming a possible inverted head and shoulder here in this area. And we are coming up in few minutes. There is a high impact news coming, and in this area if you look at, there is a long wick doji. If the market structure not being able to break that high, so we could see that eventually another long wick candle here. So we're looking to see if the prices grab enough liquidity for potential break below here in that area or bouncing back up. Until the market decide one direction, we are looking to see that how the market structure is forming. We see there is a bearish drop coming up in this area, which is now the market structure forming on the lower time frame is potentially to be so far showing up to be bullish, but if the market breaks below, then it might again break in that direction. So waiting for the price action confirmation to see what kind of market structure it is building. It's a bull market now, and so the market is trying to break above, as it's a bull market, and with the fact that there's a little bit of struggle from the buyers, and that might try to push the price back below. Here is alright, so it's completely broken above with a one single move to the upside here, and that is where the market is trending, and we might see the price to continue to trend back up here, which is had a significant breakout from the support level. But we are seeing here that the market is creating a new structure in that area. And as the market is maintaining this uptrending market structure, this is a intraday price action. We may see that continuation is coming up in 30 minutes time. There is a high impact news. What we are looking for, a possible bounce back to the upside here in that market. So we see there is a complete breakout, which may continue to rise here for another move. There's the market structure showing up, and if you look at here, it's breaking back below. And that breakdown that we can see currently can give us an entry. We might find a possible entry as there is a significant breakdown. So it might try to break this low here at the moment. This is the recent support level. We'll be looking for an entry shortly after in that area, which is showing up the market to potentially remain bullish. We can see there is a breakup structure, has broken this support level, and I'm looking at this long position from this level for this potential upside here. This is the second trade that I'm opening for this possible upside here. Looking at the possible upside move, I'm bull on gold now at the moment, just open position. There has been significant pullback and I'm long on gold. We're looking for that move back to the upside. There's the move, the market to show up that rejection back to the upside here. Come on. Might see possible deeper pullback. This 15 minutes price action, this candle has closed, and okay, we'll be out with this trade. This is looks like the market may possibly move in a sideway at the moment because there is a news coming up in 30 minutes. So it's now near at entry. We'll be out with the trade, and I'm going out with the trade. It's breaking back below for potentially further liquidity grab, and then we will be re-entering once we see the market has given us a momentum. So it's a long wick candle here in that area. If we look at pretty long wick candle now, from this long wick either you see the market to go up again, or you could see that complete sideways movement. Looking at the 1 hour, that you can see it's a very unusual price action, but we could see that rejection. Back to back 2 long wick dodges in that area, and that might be until we see that it's prepared, it will grab that enough liquidity for another bounce. Sometimes the market structure creates this price action that mostly to gather liquidity, because in those price action the market is prepared for to go in any direction. You can see that it's now bouncing off that level again, so it can go in any direction where the market structure could go to any direction. So what we look to see here, you can see this is the 15 minutes price action and showing up that the market to potentially bouncing off that level lower time frame. This is 5 minutes price action going back to the upside here. I'm out with the trade, but we will be re-entering as soon as we see that suitable entry confirmation here in that market. It's showing up its bullish move that you can see, and that move is again, it's compromising here for pullback. Very few long wick dodges, seeing that it is being formed. Inverted head and shoulder and breaking above here from the inverted head and shoulder. And as the market rejected from this daily support, as in the beginning of the session that we discussed, that the price to potentially to go back up to hit that daily high. So the possibility for the market to remain bullish is higher. 4-hour candle close coming in a couple of minutes, which is in a bullish trend that you can see. The market is slowly building for a bullish market structure, which is, as you can see, it's moving in that direction of becoming a bull continuously. So the market structure showing up to be upside here for this bull move, and going back up, and you can see after this break below it's getting back up again, so which is sign that the market here to remain bullish, which we might see the market to continue to trend to create a new higher high in this market. Which is significantly bullish market structure that we have seen here. So candle close here on the lower time frame, and which is showing that the market to possibly remain upside here, which is a bull market, and where there is a liquidity sweep multiple times. And it's a long-term bull market, so is this trying to create a pattern here, which is a potential reversal, or you could see that this is another bullish market structure that we are looking at in this market, to showing up that the price to potentially to bounce off this level. If we look at the lower time frame, that we can see that this is where the market is creating a new higher high here in that area, which is, if you look at, very interesting market structure. But I think the price ultimately to move back to the major direction of the trend. So if you look at the 4 hour, you can see it's accumulating in that area, which is a bigger bullish market structure, as the price is not being able to break that low here. Possibility for the market to continue to trend to the upside is higher. So ultimate direction of the trend here is bullish, which could eventually break out, and if it breaks to the upside, the next level that you could see the market to go ahead is the high here, which is the daily high. There's a 15 minutes candle close coming with a pretty long doji, and that market structure creating on the 15 minutes, which is showing that the market to eventually to show up that it's remaining bullish. So the 4-hour level, the 4-hour resistance line that we have seen the market has created here, which is a doji, and then so 4-hour perspective that you can see candle closing with a big long wick doji pattern that you can see here, and that long wick, if we see this candle is closing as a red doji, the potential market structure that you can expect it to bounce off that level, because the long-term trend here is bullish. So, or we could see that breaking back below again to the daily support. So eventually which market structure to play out, we are looking at in that area to see that the market is either becoming bearish again, or maintaining that support and then remaining bullish. So there is interesting support has created on gold that you can see in this area. And coming up in few minutes, news. So from the intraday, it's almost to that support level, and on a key support level, and you can see there is news coming up in few minutes, and the market in a very important support where we could see that this market potentially to which the price on a support level, and it may potentially continue to trend back down or again revert back to the major direction of the trend. So it's on a crucial level, and from that level that we are looking at for this market to show up its hand. Which is eventually could continue to rise here back above in that area. There's a gap open which might lead that market to possibly to trend back again. We're having news coming up in few minutes. This is potentially downtrending market structure, so you could see the price to potentially continue to trend further back below. significantly bearish here, and you might be looking to see this market to come back here to this support level. So we have 5 minutes to go for this candle to close on the lower time frame. Here is the 1 hour market structure, pretty sharp bearish rejection from the top. And if we look at the 4 hour also, it's a pretty sharp rejection from the top. So we'll be looking to see the market potentially to break that low. It's broken that low, potentially continue to trend down, and here the market is showing back below to trend, and so coming up news in few minutes, so you could see that the market to remain bearish in that area, and we could see the price to continue to trend and to that support level where there is a high area of value. So from the 4 hour that we can see the market has rejected back below, and there is a long wick candle. If you look at here, you can see there is an imbalance here. The market may potentially come back here to fill that imbalance to create a new lower low in this market. So with the candle close on the 1 hour chart, that you can see it's a bearish engulfer, and from that bearish engulfer the market to possibly trend down further to this support level. There is a order block here that you can see the market is maintaining that order block, and you could see the price to continue to trend back down to this support level. It's a massive bearish engulfer on the lower time frame that you can see on the 30 minutes chart, which is eventually breaking that low here. The market has come back to this daily low, so you might see the price to retest again daily support, and after retesting the daily support the price may potentially bounce off this level. This is completely bearish price action here that you can see in this market, and potentially continue to trend back down to this support level. It's maintaining that downtrend, and you can see the complete break of support, which could lead that market to break below further. it's breaking that low, and as the market is trending in that direction where the market is, if you look at here, you can see there is a complete breakdown in that area which is having that low, and it's a complete break of structure. Most likely we'll see the price coming back here. So it was a complete breakup structure that you can see here, and so looking at this daily price action here, that you can see the market has rejected from the daily high. We could see the price to eventually come back below here to this daily support level. So the market has reached that resistance, and I think the price may now potentially come back below again to this support level. where there is a high liquidity. That's a massive drop again. Okay, so the market structure here now in a sideways movement, so you could see that either the market to drop again, or it might just move in a sideways some more time. And we have secured 2 positions earlier, so we'll be looking for more entry later. It's Friday and I believe that you guys enjoyed the live session here, and looking forward to have some more entry later this session, in our next session. It was a great session with all of you guys, and coming up another week, next week scheduled for NFP, and we'll be trading in this live session. That being said, thank you for joining here. I'll see you again very soon trading live together. Until that, stay well, stay happy.